Welcome to My Jane, My Story, the only show that enables women to share their own secrets and insights to wellness, one story at a time. And here we are with Elaine Blanchette again. I'm getting better, I hope, at pronouncing her name here. And
You are getting better, actually. Yes.
and the stories that she tells each and every adventure here. Who did you bring with you to tell some stories today?
Well, I have some special guests, but before we do that, I'm certainly going to just welcome everybody to My Jane, My Story. As you know, our mission is to unite and empower women through community, education, and exploration of cannabis solutions to address our biggest health concerns like sleep, pain, stress. There's so much overwhelming information out there. We call it the wild, wild west, and it's not for nothing. That we've decided that we needed to come together and share stories by creating My Jane, My Story. This is a place to talk about real life experience so we can be better and do better by helping one another. Every journey is unique, every path is special, and we are extremely grateful to have our guest here to share with all of us. This is a non-judgmental space where every question is necessary to learn and shift our perspective on this plant that is so beneficial. So today we have a house again full of lovely ladies and some very special ones. We have another very special formula because we're going to have a guest host like last week who will be interviewing. But let's first meet Autumn Shelton from Autumn Brands, a sixth generation farmers company, which started in Holland and is now in Santa Barbara. The family transferred generations of expertise from growing the finest tulips, which Holland is so famous for, to producing pure, potent quality strains of cannabis. Autumn is the co-founder with the brand family, where the name Autumn Brands come from. And together they embrace the values of fairness, honesty, and trust. And certainly this is one of the reasons why we were so happy to have Autumn with us, because we share the same values. They were one of the first, and she is one of the first women-owned cannabis business in the regulated market in California. And she will share her story from hardship to success. And our second lady is Leanne Anderson, that you've met last week. She is the co-founder and CMO of Cupsoon, a company dedicated to health and education. Cupsoon supports the cannabis lifestyle with online learning, monthly group events, on-site presentations, a carefully curated product line, and the Cupsoon seal of approval. But above all, Leanne is, for the second time, our special guest host today. And I will now leave it to Leanne to interview our new guests.
Thank you, Helene, and thank you for having me back. I love being on this show. And thank you, Autumn, for doing this with us. I'm so excited to be able to be sitting, I wish face to face, but here we are, screen to screen, and able to sit down and really talk to you today and learn more about your background and Autumn Brands. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be here.
Yay. So my first question for you is, how did you come about being in this cannabis industry? What was your career path before this? How did you end up in this industry? And, what makes Autumn Brands so special?
So, my background, I've done numerous different things since college. In college, I studied psychology and Italian. From there, I got into real estate. And then I ended up, after my husband and I got married, a number of years later, we went on a 16-month honeymoon, mostly through the Southern Hemisphere, camping, staying in hostels, really on a budget, but really getting to explore the world and really kind of thinking every day, what's my path? What are we going to do when we get back? And when we came back, I really was looking for that real estate position, But on the same day that I got the job that I was looking for, I also got offered a job for a cut flower grower. And something in my heart just said, this is it. I instantly connected with the owner, who is now my partner. And I took the job as his financial controller. And at that time, the cut flower industry was definitely seeing some serious struggles. And so we really worked at trying to bring that company back. And we really did an incredible job. But in that process, he was also approached by some people that wanted to lease out his greenhouses to grow medical marijuana. And he was definitely always been opposed, never been part of his wheelhouse. And I've always been a big proponent of cannabis. So this was really an exciting opportunity, and I really saw the future in it. And after a lot of risk assessment, decided he should do it. And so he did. And shortly after that, he decided to turn his other greenhouses into it and learn himself how to do it, and brought me in as a partner as well as his two kids. And so we started on the medical marijuana side of it, and then grew into the regulated market, which was, of course, January of 2018. So it's been a really exciting adventure through this process, and now being able to be a part of it. It's, of course, it's been beyond challenging. The medical marijuana side, collective side itself was just really hard in understanding, because it was still so gray, and what documents do you really need, and who do you work with, and then when we transitioned to the regulated, we were really part of the whole process at the state level and at the county level as well, really speaking to both regulatory systems of what we really need as a cultivator. And so it was really an incredible process. But when we switched to the regulated market, a lot of the people that we had worked with prior didn't switch over. And so it was basically starting all over. So it was a whole new business. Mm-hmm. And with that, of course, you see new challenges, but I had prepared for it and knew we wouldn't see any income in for at least 4 months, and we didn't. But we were able to survive because we held back. And, our model has always been to just be, keep everything very simple and grow within our means. And it's really helped us continue to grow and succeed.
What an incredible journey. Gosh, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing, Autumn. This time that we're living in right now has been unprecedented. And I, feel that 2020 has been quite a start to, kind of this next century. And what we're seeing is this sort of shift in cannabis perception and use. And in a lot of states now, it has been deemed essential. I'd love to hear how it's been for Autumn Brands, during this unsettling times. What have you seen in the industry? What has been these big shifts that have happened this last few months?
Well, certainly COVID, it was definitely unknown until they deemed it essential, and most states did, which was fantastic that we were all able to really continue to move forward. But with that, it had its own challenges, right? We needed to really rethink how we process everything in our warehouse and in our greenhouses, and how do we keep our employees safe? We've been given this responsibility that we can continue to operate, but we need to make sure that we're doing it the best we can. And so we definitely saw a jump in sales right when it happened, because nobody knew whether, cannabis was going away, and if it was going to continue to go. And then we saw things kind of flatten out. It didn't really take like a nosedive, but it just kind of went back to normal. And I think we saw a lot of, and I even heard from people contacting us, new users, because now they're sitting at home and they're doing some research and they want to try it. They have more time on their hands. But you also saw a huge loss of tourism, so a lot of the dispensaries, say in San Francisco that we had, or San Jose, which actually didn't get deemed essential, only for medical, you saw a huge dip in sales there. So we've seen a real transition here of, sales being great and sales being lower. We also sell in bulk, and that market has skyrocketed and continues to skyrocket. We're at a point now where we were last August. So there's still a tremendous amount of demand out there for cannabis. And I think you're just going to see a whole new wave of the consumer because it's now also more accessible. These dispensaries that weren't allowed to deliver before can deliver now. And so I've had family members and family friends reach out to me and say, how do I get this? And I just look up a delivery service or a dispensary that now delivers, and instantly they're trying something new. Whether it's topical or flower or pre-rolls. So that's really exciting to see. I've seen a lot more of that since COVID, for sure.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I mean, who would have ever thought you could do curbside pickup at a dispensary now? Interesting times for sure. Well, I've been lucky enough to come to your beautiful farm in Santa Barbara County and, really see what you have going on there. You have an amazing assortment of strains that you grow. Can you share a little bit about maybe which one's your favorite, which ones sell well? I know that you do sort of flowers and you do flower pre-rolls, and then you also have vape cartridges as well. What's your favorites? What do you think are doing sort of well in this market?
Well, flower is still our mainstay. That is definitely our 1/8 premium flower that we sell. But we also have a 7-pack and a 1 gram. And of course, as you mentioned, the vape cartridge. And we are in the process and R&D of getting out a topical, hopefully by the fall or winter of this year. And, for me, our top sellers, our top strains for sure are strawberry banana, which tests in the high 20s THC. People do love the higher levels, but our other two are more around the low 20s, 22%. So strawberry banana, which is more of a hybrid, and Dreamwalker, which is one of my personal favorites. That one is more of a sativa. It kind of gives you more energy, more of that mind high, which I really enjoy. I enjoy kind of doing more activity type based things. And Wedding Cake is another really top seller, which is an indica, and it just flies off the shelf. And very exciting right now, we just actually put out a high CBD, low THC strain called Blue Dream CBD. That comes in around 10% THC and I believe 8% CBD. And I actually just tried it myself because we just got it out in the market. And I don't know about you, but I go through these moments of just overwhelming during COVID. And this last weekend, I kind of hit that point where I woke up and I'm like, my 4.5-year-old and my almost 7-month-old were just, mommy. And I just told my husband, I need to go for a run. I'm emotional and I'm out of balance. And so I smoked a little bit off one of those new CBD Blue Dream joints and went for a run. And by the time I came back, the whole world felt better again. It allowed me to get out of my head and just run and move and be in nature. And it was wonderful. So we have some really great strains out there for everybody.
That's amazing. Get those endorphins going. Just like you say, get outside. It's always good. And to be able to enjoy a good strain while you're doing it as well, So what are you seeing as far as trends go in the cannabis industry? I know obviously there's so much that's happening. I feel like day to day there are new things happening in this industry. But what are you seeing sort of on the ground as, some trends that have either transpired or about to transpire this year or within the next couple years?
Well, as we already discussed, diminishing stigma. I mean, that is obviously, we're seeing a huge shift there, and even more so after COVID. People are becoming more aware of it. They're doing more research. People are really understanding the benefits of it. So that is just going to continue going up. Legislation, it's one of those things right now where the most important things are stimulating the economy and then making sure everyone is taken care of in their health. And cannabis is really at the forefront of that, right? This is a health and wellness product that can really help balance people and help stimulate the economy. It's definitely a booming industry. So it's really been exciting that we recently got the Safe Banking Act, which we've been really fighting for a while now, into the recent stimulus package, and it was passed by the House. So we're just now waiting for the Senate. We got a 50-50 chance. It's going to be a tough one to get through, but we're hoping that they really see the positivity of cannabis and the importance of banking, because it's not safe for people to be having to deal with all this cash or having to go to an ATM or take one more step, to go do something just to go buy their medicine or buy their cannabis. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, they'll understand, and legislation will continue to be able to move through. I've also seen a number of states being able to now are actually putting cannabis on their ballots. Some have had to step back and couldn't really focus on it, and others are really moving forward with it. And municipalities, and California mostly has bans. And we're seeing more of these communities finally stepping up and realizing this is essential. This can help save their economy after COVID. So that's a really exciting thing. What else? Paying it forward. It's a really important thing when you see some businesses being essential and some not. Our economy is in a dire state, and now with the riots that are occurring, it is beyond important for those that should pay it forward. For us, we instantly jumped on helping the community the best we can. Our group of growers, which is called Carp Growers, all of us locally got together, and we are now supporting the local restaurants. We have since COVID started. So we buy our employees lunches 2 to 3 times a week from the different restaurants to help keep the lights on. As well as helping out food banks, and created a fund locally in Carpinteria, 93013 fund, which has really helped. And now after the riots, we're doing whatever we can now to really donate to these social injustice organizations to make sure that we can also participate and help in that. And that's really important for all of us to really get involved in.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And that's, has always been so impressive about this industry, is that when there is need, the industry always comes together and fulfills that. So thank you for all that you do there. Autumn, any advice for women wanting to get into this industry, whether it's in the CBD or cannabis space? Any advice you can share?
Well, I definitely share that, the beautiful thing about cannabis industry is that it's new and it's not set in stone. So it's not this male dominated industry. So there's no glass ceiling, sky's the limit. But we did see more women involved, and we've seen a reduction as more people have gotten involved, which also means there's more men involved as well. But I think the most important thing, for any business, and what I'd recommend, is follow your heart, follow what really makes sense to you, but do it simply. Don't try to go out there and make a fancy office or make it what you think it should be in 10 years or in 5 years. Grow within your means. Don't try to go and borrow too much money. Don't try to, make it, like I said, make it too big, because that's where we see so many of these businesses failing and not being able to be successful. So it's really important to have a business that's following your heart, and have a business that you can grow and do it successfully and be here for the long term.
Yeah, great advice. And hopefully more and more people will get into this industry after seeing how, it has been growing during this time. And it is something that, will hopefully continue that. So,
well, people are thinking, after COVID and they lost a lot of jobs, what is a sustainable position for me in the future? And now they see that a cannabis business can be sustainable, and maybe this is something that they do want to get involved in and take part in, because this could, this could happen again in the fall for all of us. We don't know what's going to happen. So this is a time to really look at, some really stable cannabis businesses, perhaps.
Right. And talk about green and clean, environmentally friendly. If you want to be a part of, that movement too, this is definitely the industry to be in. Thank you, Autumn. So Autumn, where can My Jane listeners learn more about Autumn Brands, stay in touch with you? How can we, learn more?
Well, definitely follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Twitter. LinkedIn, our website, www.autumnbrands.com. You can learn all about us and the two families that own and operate this business every single day. Learn about how we focus on sustainability. We reuse and recycle our water, all organic waste. It's really important. And if you want to find us in a dispensary, we're from the top of California to the bottom of California. We have a store locator on the website, and also list all the delivery services as well. And some of the dispensaries to deliver. So you just want to go to the website, which we have linked in there for you as well. So, and if you can't find your strain, then tell your local dispensary or email us and we'll let you know and help you find exactly what you need.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Autumn. And hopefully I'll get to come to the farm again soon.
Let's do.
So can we be invited to go to that farm?
Well,
Can
I was
people
going to say, Helene,
Absolutely.
you need to come.
Yes, absolutely. Once we start opening up again, right now we're still staying closed for safety measures, but we would love to have you come visit.
I have a question though, Autumn, before we close. A lot of people are concerned, and you say it's organic. How do you grow internally or you grow external your crops?
We grow in greenhouses.
Okay.
So, and everything is, so we get the benefits of 100% natural sunlight. We don't use any lights, but we also get the protection of the buildings. So it's this perfect balance between an outdoor and an indoor grow. And as I mentioned, yes, everything we do, we reuse and recycle all our water. We have a well on the property, and all our organic waste is all recycled as well. So and we're 100% pesticide free. And the state allows for you to use a little bit of pesticides, but we are 100% dedicated to being pesticide free. It is very challenging and very expensive, but we've created this incredible environment in our greenhouse where we actually have ladybugs, and all their larvae have, typically they'll come in and they fly away. But this environment we've been able to create, they come and they stay and they just keep laying more and more babies. And it's just this beautiful place to see how these ladybugs just fly and take care of all the pests naturally within the greenhouses. What we have found is even if you spray a little bit of pesticide, you're really destroying all those good pests that are in there. So that's why it's so important to be like this. And I really do feel that as we saw the movement from conventional foods to organic foods, we're going to see this. And organic doesn't mean pesticide free. Organic still means pesticides. So I feel like we're going to see this shift, not just in cannabis, but in all agriculture, hopefully one day, that it's all pesticide free. Because really, everything we put in our body is so important.
It is important. That's why I asked the question, because I think it's very important that we select, like we talk about trust and we talk about selection process. And I think that selecting, people that are growing with organic and pesticide free, mold free is a very important thing, because there's a lot of tainted product out there.
Really is. And we're dedicated to, making sure our consumers are really being able to create a healthy lifestyle with our products.
Well, it was wonderful discovering your brand and the quality that you can offer to all the listeners. And thank you for tuning in to My Jane, My Story. Join us on our My Jane community at myjane.com. We also have a micro affiliate member program. So you can come and visit our website, myjane.com, and get instant access to our Facebook community, educational resources, and updates on My Jane products and events. You can also listen to all of our podcasts. We have over 38 podcasts available. And you can just visit us and on our website at myjane.com. So it's time to empower yourself. And I want to thank you both, Leanne Anderson and Autumn, for being with us today and sharing your story. That was highly interesting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to My Jane, My Story. If you want to learn more, you can join the My Jane community at myjane.com. Get instant access to our Facebook group, Facebook community, educational resources, and updates on My Jane products and special events. And for personal attention right now, you can also pick up the phone and call 833-MY-JANE2. That's MYJANE2. And speak to your own wellness concierge, because it's time to own your wellness. Be well.